And the snow here in Washington did not stop one of the most important parts of a presidential election, the certification of results. On the left is what it looked like 4 years ago, riddled with chaos and violence. On the right is how it unfolded today, with order and civility, as Vice President Kamala Harris oversaw the count of electoral votes in an election she lost. We get more now from CBS's Scott MacFarlane.
With a driving snowstorm outside, this time it was a serene January 6th inside. In one of her final acts as vice president,
democracy must be upheld by the people.
Kamala Harris presided as Congress certified the victory of her opponent in the 2024 presidential election.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
In a ceremonial proceeding that lasted barely 30 minutes. A stark contrast to the chaos and catastrophe of January 6, 2021, in which more than 140 police officers were injured, maimed, gassed, and beaten by marauding rioters.
Today was obviously a very important day, and it was about what should be the norm.
Democrat Joe Morelli of New York helped administer today's certification.
Were you thinking back to 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's hard not to think back to what happened. I mean, that was a day that no one should forget, and certainly no one should try to change what happened.
Washington, D.C. police officer Daniel Hodges, beaten in a doorway by the mob, attended today and accused Republicans of trying to ignore or whitewash the insurrection.
It would be my honor to make it as uncomfortable as possible for the GOP members who try to whitewash that day and lie about what happened and pretend that we didn't save them.
4 years later, nearly 1,600 people have been charged with felony or misdemeanor crimes for their alleged roles in the attack. And though some Trump allies have claimed the rioters were unarmed, a CBS News review found guns, tasers, chemical spray, bats, and dozens of other weapons were brandished.
They should immediately be released, immediately, the J6 hostages.
President-elect Trump has pledged at least some pardons as early as Inauguration Day.
I think it'd be offensive to everyone who risked their lives, who fought and sacrificed their blood and sweat that day to preserve democracy.
A CBS News investigation finds nearly 160 of the Capitol riot defendants sentenced so far had criminal pasts, including for violent crimes, amid warnings from Trump's critics that pardons could embolden future crimes. Norah?
Scott MacFarlane with that news from the Hill today. Thank you, Scott.